P is one of my best friends, and I talk to P almost every day, and I talked to Cisco literally a week ago.
So, what is something that is there something that that resonates with you in terms of something that you learned from being so close to P? Like, what's maybe that the people outside the camp aren't able to know? Because I'll give you an example.
Mhm.
The situation that happened with Wack100 calling out P, saying P is this, P is that. It was funny because with every other artist, people were kind of feeding into, what Wack is saying. They're like, oh, really? Da 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 da. But when it
Mhm.
came to P, a lot of the audience was like, nah, man, we don't believe that. We don't believe that. And I think a big part of it is the integrity that P
Mhm.
has, the treatment
Right,
that he provides to other people, even the situation with you. He didn't
right,
really know you from a can of paint. You just sent
right.
him a demo, and he's like, hey, man, you guys click, come fly out. But I think a big
Right.
part of P, too, from what you're explaining, is maybe he has a good intuition and he wants to see if he should follow that intuition. So I'm just curious to know, man, what's something that people should know being in that camp that is that could help others? Because I think there's probably a lot of things going on there that would elevate the rest of the world, but it's more tight knit. Because even with Romeo, the way Romeo addresses people, the way Romeo is in the media,
Mhm.
you could kind of tell that there's some sort of, I want to say, conditioning or some sort of way
Yeah,
that, hey, in the
yeah,
public eye, this is how you present yourself. So I'm just
yeah,
curious to know if there's something that you could share with us, because I always wanted to know how it is.
yeah. For one, I can tell you exactly what that is. It's integrity, bro. It's just integrity, man. Like Romeo is a good kid, and he was raised good. He was raised with morals and principles, and he's an educated young man as well. All P's kids are good kids, Um, they wasn't raised in Hollywood, even though they came up, blessed and all of that with all the accoutrements of success, but they still were raised like regular kids, saying. So there's discipline, there's education, there's integrity, that's all of that. Um so that's what you're seeing. It's not even just in front of the camera. This is how we comport ourselves in real life. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's what you do when the cameras are not around. Your boots got to be on the ground when the camera's not around. So you have to be consistent. So what I learned from P mainly is again work ethic, consistency, and integrity. Um, no excuses. Everybody got the same 24 hours, to put in the work. Um, to be, P is a consummate professional, no matter what he's going through, no matter whatever, you know what I mean? He's going to show up and give it 200% every day, all the time. And that's as a professional is supposed to be doing. That's what's expected. So that's what I learned. That's what just the constant work ethic, and again, integrity. We've always been soldiers. We've always, yeah, we could tear some stuff up if we need to, but that's not what we're here to do. We've always, especially as we've evolved, it's always about being positive and teaching the next generation and educating people and inspiring people. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. It's all 100. It's all real. So when you go back to the WAC situation, that's why I approached it like I did. That's who I am in real life. That's not a front for social media. I'm an OG, man. So, I had an OG tell me years ago, you always give somebody a way out. You don't just rush to the BS. You know what I'm saying? You try to give a person a way out, a space to fix it first. So we just comport ourselves like bosses, man, and we try to, like I said, just keep it positive and inspire, the next generation. And it's real. That's not even a front.
Okay, so while we're on the topic of advice, and we're gonna get back into the story, because where we left off, you had to leave. It was the Bay. You had to leave the Bay with your partner because you decided that you didn't want to stay with
Yeah.
P. But before we get into that, I have to know, man, because one of the most captivating people in the camp, I'm gonna have to say, is Big Boz.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he Boz is never on camera. You can probably count the amount of times on your hand that you're gonna see Boz on camera.
Yeah.
But you know Boz is up to something, because if Boz is on camera, there had to be a reason. So even with Boz, it seems like, he's P's right-hand man as well.
Yeah.
They work in tandem.
Yeah.
What have you learned from, because I'll tell you, the funny thing is, when I was introduced to No Limit, I'm from Toronto, so we had BET, right? And that was basically it. In order for us to get No Limit CDs or tapes, you had to go to like a hole in the wall record store. There was probably only one in the whole city that would have the No Limit CDs. So whenever we're watching the videos, my brother would always point out, yo, the light-skinned guy with the box cut.
Yeah.
And he doesn't rap, but he's on, he's just doing his thing. So I'm just curious to know, man, what type of things you learn from Boz, like Big Boz? Because like I said, Boz doesn't really talk, but it seems like he's very instrumental in the success of the organization as well.